being so good about segueing as well, because if we are in a learning sort of mode most of the time, what do you think about co-working?
Yes.
As a concept. Do you think it is what you said, which is we are all learners and all, and needing to get, information infused in us all the time, and if we surround ourselves with an environment and people that are like-minded, does that truly work for you, and you see that as a concept that's going to go on and on?
I believe in Western New York we're actually behind. The whole co-working scene is actually 12 to 15 years old, and so I say that we have gone beyond being sources. We're conduits. If I say that, does that make sense?
No, no, that's true. I mean, you're right.
Yeah. So knowledge and awareness and trends are moving at such a pace that all I can do is identify key spotters that I need information from and connection with all the time.
Right.
And so co-working is vital. I even think organizations that are traditional should actually have some of their employees in co-working spaces, simply because the psychology of the space impacts.
Right.
And
I think there's a move to it.
There is. As a matter of fact, you and Josh and Chris Cooley were so right in founding Carlson Cowork. And what I love is that when Jim Goff came and said, we thought we were renting spaces and learned that we're renting ideas.
It's an idea.
It's so phenomenal. And I think as soon as I found out about Carlson Cowork and knew that you were here and Josh was here and that Jim was part of it, I have been at Linden Oaks since 2002. And they wouldn't let me out of my lease. I had 2 leases because I just knew because of who you were. It's not the space, it's the mindset cultivating. Going back to the bonsai, I feel like I'm a little branch on the bonsai tree, right? Is that you're cultivating a space, and you made it very clear. What is the identity? The identity is collaboration, community, and capitalism, right? Because there's this fear, there's this, I don't have to say much about what's going on in the macro relative to Republican versus Democrat, right? There's a fear that collaboration equals socialism, right? And I love that you said, no, we're going to make money, we're going to be successful, and we're going to learn together.
And it's a democracy.
And it's this space. and no, you didn't. You said we've got criteria.
Right.
It is not a democracy.
Right.
You may or may not fit.
Right. That's
this
true.
is where we're going.
There's a deselection.
It totally, so you modeled the whole way, and so I feel lucky, geez, to be included. But I feel it's really important. And Carlson, people in Rochester, they're like, first of all, everybody has RIT, U of R. So many people have grown up here, have family here, had careers here. That Rochester, Frederick Douglass, North, that history, Susan B. Anthony, history. Whether or not we like where Kodak went, it was founded by a young entrepreneur, 21 years old. Right. So we are.
There's a great legacy in history.
There's this space. There's something about the space. So here at Carlson, there's history. And it's so beautiful is the way it's doing is we're really honoring, as we talked before, Edward Deasy, who a U of R professor who's like a world expert on self-determination theory. Even Google, when they were doing their work on teams, used his research.
Right.
And what Dr. Deasy found was that if in fact you can create a community where there is confidence, autonomy, and connectedness, it will thrive.
Right.
And so why is Carlson thriving right now? Is one is that we're not saying we're experts, we're saying we're conduits. And second, we have the real straight criteria around community, collaboration, and capitalism. And then third, people here experience a really beautiful sense of connectedness. There's a confidence. Every single person here isn't like, I hope I'm successful. They're already successful. They come in, they say, I want to be successful here, competence, right? And then finally, there's a ton of autonomy. We don't have a program. Like, people are saying, well, when is your startup? Sorry, people here self-select what they need. So to answer your question, I love a co-working space. It's vital, and I feel really lucky to be in Carlson.
No, you're so perfect without explaining what it is. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's true.
One thing that we're adding as a question onto the Carlson Cowork conversations is, in your time as being an entrepreneur, what was the craziest thing you ever did? Was there something that just was sort of like kooky, or you thought, oh my goodness, this is what it's like to be an entrepreneur, I have to No, I have to do this. Or
Yeah, I think
anything funny that's sort of.
funny. I think the hardest. No, because I'm trying to say, like, I'm not a funny person. I don't have anything funny.
No, you're funny.
I mean, in terms of, like, when I wrote Strategy, Leadership, and the Soul, I hired Josh Pies to do a video. And so my entire marketing budget was just a video. In 2010, I literally, like, my publishing company wouldn't do it. I just had this feeling that it should not be me, it should be a message. And it should be a message that can relate. Right. And I was so mad because I had a publisher that they actually had to put their book on it. Because I just like, I don't, excuse my language, but I didn't want to piss on the beauty of the message and the branding. Right. But, you know, so for me that felt really important, and there wasn't evidence that it would be wise.
Right.
And I love the fact that it ended up being very wise.
Oh, that's good.
And so I think that was the riskiest thing.
Riskiest, yeah.
Because it was a huge capital investment. And there was no return, and it seemed like your entire marketing budget is this 3-minute video.
Yeah.
And how and I just said, I don't know, but I don't care. And here's the thing, I didn't even know if people would read my book or not, but there was something I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, is that if you're really clear on what you want to give, think of it as a gift, is that if you're really clear on what it is you want to contribute, not only will you find a way, but you will give it. And the giving of that, you almost feel like I would die if I didn't do that message, I would feel incomplete. There was something that had to be done.
But there's the personal brand sort of message, right? That you have this stuff inside of you, and if you're true to that, you know, I have this sort of great belief that doors open up because people see the true passion and the authentic sort of genuineness to it. And so you felt so strongly about doing that people were going to notice that.
But I wish it was a funny story. I wish it was funny.
No tell, like, do you juggle it all? Or
oh, jeez, no. No, don't get me singing. Like, I'm just not, if you want funny, you find
Can we end the show with a little song? Yeah?
No.
No.
Again, with the Amazing Grace, let me tell you.
Thank you. You've been awesome. This has been episode number 3 with Jennifer Sertl of Agility 3R. Awesome. Yeah. So stay tuned for the next episode. We'll be on soon, and see you guys. Take care.